Hello everyone, welcome back to another session with me. This is Sanyukta Saxena and we are already down a couple of tiles, in fact 3 tiles in our Ghost Tangles series. Yes, today being the 4th session, I'm going to start again on a Zendala tile and start with a tangle uh, called GINILI. GINILI, yes. Uh, Basically I'm going to draw it in the form of a flower. Yes, so I'm going to start with an orb and then going to add these petal shapes. Well, you can draw it the way you wish to. The petal shapes can vary. Yes, so it's again a flower tangle, a nature inspired botanical tangle, and now I am adding these straight lines inside each of these petal shapes, and then just like we do for a tangle called walk the line, I am going to round the ends. So add some extra ink there and round the ends. Yes, so I will do exactly the same for all of these petals and draw a couple of these flowers. Simple to draw, started with some petal shapes and then I'm going ahead and rounding. In fact, you can just do that in one go and then ink the rest of the section. Yes, whichever way you like it. And now just go ahead and add these curves at the ends and then go back and ink it. That's also one way to go about doing it instead of rounding each. And then we have the 4th one here. You can also convert the center into a caviar if you want, a Bronx cheer. Yes. And then just go back and ink the small tiny spaces left over. Yes, so I am probably going to draw one more. Let's draw it close to the previous one, so we draw behind a little. Yes, so you can vary the shape of the petal. That's entirely your choice. They can be uneven, they can be, if you want it evenly drawn, you can do that. Yes, and then I will do exactly the same exercise once again. Take your time. This is a tangle called GINILI. Yes, simple to draw. Just round the ends. So I have drawn 2 of them. Yes, and now I'm going to add some wavy lines and transition into my next tangle. Yes, so some wavy lines, drawing randomly, not really thinking. Yes, and now I'm going to add a tangle called citrus and also a tangle called peppermint. Yes, but before that, these wavy lines, you can use it to draw any tangle. For example, circles, you can convert it into diva dance, or you can just aura the waves. Anyways, it looks nice. Yes, let's see what do we want to add here. So I'm going to convert it into a tangle called circles. Your choice. You can draw the tangle which you feel like. Convert these waves into any tangle of your choice. Yes, so let's see. I'm going to ink the orbs in this section. And then I'm going to ink the section other than the orb in the next, just like we do for circles. Slowly take your time. Ink the section and the orbs alternatively. Something like this. Spaces are small. I'm comfortable using my O1, but if you wish, you can use a bolder nib. The next section is again inking the orb or part of the orb falling in that section. Yes, and the next is again inking the section other than the orb. So that's how you draw the tangled circles. And the last section here. Yes. So that's circle. Now this section, the part which is not inked, I am just going to add some very fine lines. You can add shattuck, you can add a mesh, the tangle or leak, you can add orbs, anything that you feel like. I'm just adding simple straight lines here like this. Yes, take your time and do this exercise in the sections which are white. Like this. Yeah, so I will do exactly the same in this small section that is left here. You can draw at your own pace. So I'm done doing this exercise on the other side also. Yes, let us now move on to our second tangle, which is peppermint. So I'm going to start with some orbs. Yes, and then I'm going to draw lines like these surrounding the orb on the inside like this. Yes, and then I'm again going to round the space in between, or you can say that I'm rounding both sides of these lines that I have drawn, whichever way you find it easier to draw. Yes, simple tangle to draw peppermint. And once you are done that, then next step is to add a dot at the end of each of these lines like this. Yes, cute tangle to draw. That's the tangle peppermint. Now I'm going to be doing a few more of these. So let's go to the next one. So kind of drawing behind here. Yes, as much as is visible. Go back and round both sides of the lines or insert a curve in between the lines, whichever way you find it easier to draw. Yes, and then add a dot at the end like this. Let's add one or two more before we move to our next angle, which is citrus. Yes, just like a clock. In fact, you can, if you are getting confused where to draw these lines, you can start like a clock, 12, 6, 9, 3, and then in betweens. It will help you draw this tangle a little more easily. Yes, and then small dots at the ends of each of these lines. One more, a big one. So what I was saying is you can start like this. Yes, and then insert in between, and if you want more you can go further and add some more like this. Yes, and then again do the same exercise. Dots at the ends is all that you need. Let's move on to our next angle, which is somewhat similar. I am going to again start with an orb, but this time I'm going to draw a tangle called citrus. So start somewhere here and add these triangles inside the orb, just like we draw the tangle triply. Closely aura the previous triangle as you draw the next one. Yes, so let's add one more here, an orb, a dot for reference, and then start to draw these triangles closely auraing the previous one. A triply inside a circle is what is this tangle citrus. Take your time. Yes, so we have now drawn a couple of tangles. Let's fill some of the space with simple tangles like print toms. Yes, inside this you can add dotted lines, the tangle citrus. You can also add simple plain lines, or you can add highlights as you draw the line. Yes, that's what I mean when I say dotted line. So break the line in between to add a highlight. Yes, something like this. If you want to add something else, you can do that also. If you want to vary how they look like, then just convert these into orbs like these. Anything that you wish to, whole lot of tangles that you can choose from. Since these are triangles, you can add any fragment inside and it will look different. Yes. So I'm now going to add probably some one or odd printums here and there to fill up some empty spaces before we switch to our ghost tangle. So these are printums with some weighting. Yes. So you can add some orbs in between spaces wherever you have some negative spaces. Just feel comfortable to add some tiny orbs. Again, I am adding a printom with some weight, a weighted printum. You can add one more here. Now in the previous session, when we drew our ghost tangle, we drew a tangle other than what we had drawn in the rest of the tile. So the last session we drew the tangle sand swirl, which was not used in the rest of the tile. So it was a new tangle that we dwelled on and we inserted like a ghost tangle. Today we will continue with the same. Yes, so it is kind of trying to give a fading away effect. Yes, so I'm going to now again switch to my gray micron and I'm going to repeat the same tangles, but this time with my gray micron to give an effect of the tangles fading away. So let's now first add peppermint. Slowly take your time and then do the same exercise. So ghost tangles can be the same set of tangles that you have used in the tile fading away. Yes, so they can also be called ghost tangles. In the last few sessions we used a new tangle. Today we are using the same tangle and giving the fading away effect. So that's one. Yes, now let us add some more of these. So I'm going to add one more hidden here. So this is going to be another peppermint. Yes, and then round it. I think by now you know how to draw it. So I have drawn two peppermints. You can see here it is still quite dark, although I am drawing with a gray micron. So let's try the pencil today, since I mentioned that actually you use the pencil to create the ghost tangles. So let's do the pencil today. So I'm going to again go ahead and add. So make sure your pencil is sharp enough and you do not add much pressure. So I am conscious of the pressure that I am adding as I draw, which was not required as such when we used the charcoal pencil. Yes, so that's one citrus. I'm going to add one more. Again, start somewhere here. Do not add much pencil pressure. Take it easy. So that's the second citrus. Now I'm going to add fine lines, just the way we did in the citrus that we drew with our pen. I'm adding some lines inside. Again, as I'm repeating again and again, be wary of the pencil pressure. You have to be very light-handed when you are drawing with your pencil and creating ghost tangles. So I'm not adding much pencil pressure. I'm using very light hand. Since we are trying to create an effect of the tangle fading away. So here the gray pen that we used, it was pure line work, right? So it looks pretty light. Here when I'm using the same gray pen, it is kind of dark, right? So it is not exactly giving that effect, and that's how we learn by doing. So here I have switched to my pencil, since we had to use pencil also in some of our sessions. So I have added 2 of these with my pencil. Now let us add some INDY-RELLA. So I'm again going to use my pencil and add some nice INDY-RELLAs like these. It's line work, INDY-RELLA, curved lines, close auras, lines not touching each other. First increasing the size of the lines and then diminishing it to give a nice rice shape. Take your time, slowly. This is a truly fun tangle. You can maneuver the shape. You can take it any way you want. Yes. And that's it. I think we do not need to add anything else here. Now what I'm going to do is shade. Yes. So shading around this center orb and shading at the ends where we have added weight or rounding, whatever you want to call it. Yes, so let's blend this much first. Make sure the center white patch is preserved as a highlight. Don't blend too much. Yes, then comes our peppermint. So I'm going to just add inside here and then blend it like this, as if there is an orb in the center. You can also add touches at the ends. Very light touch. What is already there on the stub may be sufficient to do that. Not adding much graphite there. Just a soft touch. Yes. some on the printums where you have added weight. So make a V and shade. Yes. And then the citrus. So citrus, it is up to you how do you want to shade. So probably I'm going to shade half of it and highlight the other half. Something like this. You can shade it in the center. That's entirely your choice. How do you want to go about shading it? So I've shaded half of it and I'm going to highlight the other half. So I'm just touching a little on my citrus here, kind of blurring it a little, not shading exactly. Blurring it a little, blurring the pencil a little, softening it. And if you want, you can give touches on your INDY-RELLA. I'm not adding anything, just using what is already there on the stub. Yeah. So let's now use a little bit of chalk on our citrus. So I'm going to highlight the other half. You can highlight the other side of your printums. We have not shaded our circle, so up to you how do you want to go about shading it. So I'm just going to add probably shadow at the ends. Something like this. Yes, you can also touch your chalk here if you want. It's already white, you may not do it. Something like this. Yes, so I don't think we need to do anything else to our tile. So in this tile we have basically used the same tangles fading away to give that kind of an effect of a ghost tangle. If you want to embellish a little bit, you can always add some black pearls flying off here and there, but these are your personal choice. You may not do it. Yes, so just adding some bit of tipple and black pearls here and there. So this is the darkest. This is also a little dark as compared to what should be for ghost tangles, so I shifted to pencil. Yes, when you're using the pencil, you just have to be careful that it doesn't smudge. Yeah, it should not smudge, so don't put your hand on it. You want to preserve it, you can add a fixative or something, so that would be a good idea, so that your tile stays the way it is. Yes, so let's close our tile. I'm going to put my name, sign and date your tile always. I shall see you again with some more sessions on ghost tangles. Till then, have a good time. Bye bye.